And this is why spirituality for the hundreds or thousands of years have suggested that in order to not be bound by those confines of one's inner world or ego, that one has to start to open up to the unknown. Of course, in most spiritual people's minds, when you say the unknown, they get sort of mystical and foggy-eyed, as if they're talking about there's a realm out there called the unknown, right? The unknown isn't a realm out there. It's not a mystical realm of the unknown, or it's so extraordinary that I can't possibly know it. No, the unknown is actually much more practical. It's like right here. The unknown is actually right. This is the unknown. You don't know what the heck's going to happen 1 second from now. There's no real truth that somebody should show up at your house at 6 o'clock if they say they should. I mean, if you've agreed upon that, well and good, but it's not written up there in the sky anywhere. That you don't actually, all the things we think we know, and of course, the things we think we know, we believe emotionally that they have basis in some sort of reality. So when the spiritual teachings have talked about the unknown, they're not talking about a mystically, induced inner experience that would be called the unknown. What really they're saying is that the world as each of us has hooked up in our minds, if you ever want to escape the confines of that world, you have to open to the unknown. Which means you may have it all put together like that, but it only exists within your mind. Everywhere else, it doesn't exist. Whether it's one person's mind, or it's sort of a collective mind of our culture or whatever. But it actually only exists as a whole host of assumptions and belief patterns. And outside of that arbitrary agreement that we make, that we decide of what's true and real and what's not true and real. Outside of that, it has no reality whatsoever. It has no basis in what is. I think for most people, that's a big concept to really take in. And it's why we sort of project this idea of the unknown as something, some great big mystical reality out there somewhere else. As long as we can imagine the unknown as some realm or dimension of consciousness that I'll move into, then we don't have to see, then we don't have to recognize that we ourselves have trapped ourselves within everything we think we know. And the unknown is basically saying, all of that is arbitrary. It has no basis in reality at all.